You are listening to the E2C Network, where the Auburn family speaks.
War Eagle Auburn fans, and welcome to Tiger Tracks, your source for Auburn's track and field and cross-country news and discussion. I'm your host, Jessica Loomis, and I'm here with my husband, Kyle, to discuss the meets that took place February 11th and 12th. Welcome, Kyle.
Thank you for having me back. And two meets to talk about again, where we split people up. It doesn't seem like the thing you should be doing around Valentine's Day is splitting people up.
I don't know. I love how the team performed, though.
Oh my gosh. You didn't just try to tie that all in there, did you?
Valentine's love.
That was
to things.
Probably one of the worst puns that you've ever made.
No, it wasn't.
It was absolutely one of the worst puns.
Well, here's what happened. We had two athletes, Joyce Camelli and Presley Weems. They went to Boston for the David...
Boston? Beantown?
Oh my gosh. What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
They went to Boston for the David Hemrey Valentine Invitational.
Now I have questions. For this. Did they have to wear heart things when they ran?
Well, no.
I'm just curious. It seemed like the thing
would have slowed them down.
Because every runner usually runs, or with a number. With a number, they have them in heart shapes.
They didn't.
Why not?
Because it's Boston and they didn't do that.
Or beans, since it's Beantown. Boston and hearts and beans. Sorry, tried to tie it on.
Beans, musical fruit.
Oh, don't do that. Here's the family show. Oh my gosh.
The rest of Auburn's team, they went to the Tiger Paw Invite in Clemson, South Carolina.
It's nice to be back somewhere we actually knew about, or that we've seen before in recent indoor seasons.
Exactly. So let's talk about the highlights. Specifically, let's talk about first the highlights from Presley and Joyce's trip, because obviously we know that they had some highlights.
Can we just, I know we're going to get into what she did here, but Presley is being...
literally on fire right now.
And she's getting noticed, not just obviously by us here on this show.
I know.
But she's getting interviewed for the records that she's just having a record-breaking February.
February?
Just let it go. Let it go.
Let it go. Literally, it has been a long time since I've seen an athlete break two school records in the same month, within a week of each other. This is insane what she is doing right now. When I tell you she's on fire, I mean, I literally mean, I think she's got fire in her legs, and I'm concerned for her, but she's doing amazing things. And if you're not watching Presley, you need to be.
She's doing very well this season. And not that she hasn't done well in previous seasons.
No,
she's
but
been one of the bigger names.
This is her time right now. We're not only breaking school records and PRs, and she's being noticed nationally. So,
and this is juxtaposed with Joyce Camelli, who's a national champion already. And
correct.
They're obviously competing in different, events, but they're still distance runners.
Yep.
Similar areas, and she is just kind of raising her game as almost, getting up there with Joyce in terms of notoriety and what she's accomplishing.
Exactly. So Presley, she competed in the 800 meter, one event all the way in Boston. Freaking killed it. So this is an event. There were 184 competitors. However, not all of them were collegiate.
Right.
So it's kind of weird. She's out there competing. She and Joyce were competing with literal professionals, Olympic hopefuls, real world people, not just college athletes. It's not something that we see very often.
So is this kind of a similar event to Boston Marathon? I mean, I know it's not the marathon, but do you think this kind of holds the same reverence that does up there, at least locally? I don't know. I
don't know. This is, I think, in all of our year of track and field coverage, this is, I think, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first time we've ever seen a meet that had professionals and college athletes in the same.
I feel like we've talked about at least high school athletes.
No. But they weren't competing in the same event.
Right.
So they compete when we've seen it before, where they have they'll have the high school open and then the collegiate open.
Right.
But the athletes aren't interspersed in the same heat or the same.
It's just everybody came to the same event, but different groupings.
Correct.
Different heats.
These were all in heats together.
Yeah.
So I don't know who Presley was up against in her heat. I just know how she did overall. But I mean, could you imagine? Here's Presley, this young college athlete. What if she's up against some 30-year-old Olympic hopeful? What? Talk about being intimidated. Well, I would be intimidated. She's probably not, because she's some star athlete.
Right.
But dang. That's just so crazy to me.
You know, we've asked the question before, why do we see the teams split up sometimes? And most of the time it's not like a half and half, but they're getting sent because they're performing so well to higher and higher competition level. And obviously if you're competing against professionals, I mean, that's about as good as you can get.
Well, and you think about it. So obviously this was a meet for middle distance and distance events because Presley competed in the 800, Joyce in the 5,000. The other meet, the Tiger Paw, like we had Maddie Malone and Kyle Brown killing it in weight throw.
Yeah.
So they might not have had the same competition in Boston. But anyway, more to come on that. My favorite phrase, more to come. So Presley, like I said, she competed in the 800 meter. She broke the Auburn school record with a time of 2 minutes, 4.05 seconds. The previous record was set in 2003, 19 years ago, by Sarah Reese of 2 minutes, 6.5 seconds. So she beat it by over 2 seconds. Presley competed, like I said, with 184 athletes. She finished first amongst all the college competitors, 7th overall.
That's incredible.
That's so incredible. And this was the 6th fastest time in the NCAA this year.
So she is up there in this event already, you know, collegiately.
Kyle.
But on the national stage, too, on professional levels.
This girl ran a half mile in 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Like, I don't even want to predict what she's going to do, but I don't think this is the last we've seen of her.
Oh, definitely not. We've seen these athletes do this time and time again. You know, it's not that they're holding back anything, but it's almost like they just raise their level each time.
I'm telling you, okay, so again, we've talked about this 800 times, and I apologize, but my only connection to the sport is me running it in high school and middle school.
You know, my connection to it is trying out one time and not making it.
Well, there you go. So I made it farther than you.
Wow.
Here's what I know. I was a middle distance runner, okay, in high school. Remember, I was not great. My fastest 400 time, so half of this, like the literal fastest that my little legs could go. I mean, when I tell you I killed it, like I felt like I was freaking Usain Bolt killing it out there.
Except that Usain was a sprinter, not a distance runner.
But I said middle distance, and the 400 is a sprint. Anyway, that's a whole different debate. When I tell you I felt like I was killing it, I ran a 400 in 62 seconds. Which is exactly half the time she ran this in. Jeez. So when you put it in that perspective of this girl, I was going my very, 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 very fastest that I trained 6 years for.
That many varies?
This girl did that 2 times over. And you know that second lap was faster than the first.
Yeah.
She probably did a sub 60 on that second lap, which is an incredible 400 time in and of itself. But to do that as your second 400 of the 800, I am just like completely in awe, in shock. I don't think there are no words. I'm just out of words as to how amazing and incredible this is. And I am just completely flabbergasted.
Well, and it's cool to see this, right? We're not, unaware, or we're used to, I guess I should say, Joyce Camelli getting sent by herself to certain events. It's just only recently, especially, that we've been seeing Presley do this a lot. And now you're seeing why. This isn't just, well, I just want to see what happens. She deserves to be there. Absolutely. Incredible. So if that wasn't enough, Joyce Camelli having a pretty awesome, time too, doing things up there in Boston, in Beantown, finished in the 5,000 meter with a time of 15 minutes, 45.83 seconds.
Actually, 43.8.
43, excuse me. I got a little mixed up there. Placed first amongst collegiate competitors and 8th overall, bested only by professionals.
Isn't that crazy to me? Like, again, here's Joyce. The only people that beat her are professionals who've been doing this a few years longer than her.
Right.
Like, she is the best in that event. I mean, and I think we'll go and tell you how many competitors there were in a little bit, but it was a billion competitors again.
Right. And she's the 3rd fastest time in Auburn history. I know we didn't have time to do this, but I was wondering who the other 2 fastest times are in there.
I feel like she's probably one of them.
I was about to say, I feel like she holds this record. She holds so many of them.
Yeah.
Because she's been so dominant. But, honestly, we would be excited about Joyce doing this, but to add Presley on top of it, I mean, Auburn was very well represented in Boston.
It just makes my little heart so happy.
We got a few more highlights for you that we've kind of already dropped hints about. Dontavious Hill got a PR in the high jump of 2.21 meters and won the gold. So it's the double whammy there. Jessica gets her PR. I get my medal. it's all a good day right there. It's the 6th top mark nationally for him. He's stepping up his game as well. You also got Maddie Malone just winning the weight throw again. No big deal.
No big. Nope. She is so used to that. She probably has a whole room for all of her medals because she kills it all the time.
And then Kyle Brown said, you know what? I'm not going to be outdone here. I'm going to win.
The men's weight throw
as well. So there's 2 golds right there just from throws alone if you don't want to count in Dontavious Hill, Joyce Camelli. And I know that was a different situation because they're competing against professionals. But for the collegiate level, they won the gold.
Exactly.
That's what we're going to say. Presley
and
Weems too.
Cooper Atkins won the men's mile.
Just golds galore. Give me all. I want to know one question. Where the gold at? It's at Auburn. That's all I'm saying.
Hey Auburn fans, I want to take a quick timeout from this episode to bring your attention to something very special. Here at the E2C Network, we pride ourselves on bringing you the best content for Auburn fans out there. And best of all, it's free to you. But just because it's free doesn't mean there aren't costs, especially when you have a library of hundreds of podcasts, videos, blogs, and more. Many of you have reached out and asked how you can support this network in the past. Well, now I have your answer. It's called the E2C Network Booster Club over at patreon.com/E2C Network. There you'll find a membership monthly reward system where you can sign up for as little as $1 and get different perks at different tiers. Some of those perks include things such as apparel, eligibility to join us on future podcasts, recognition as an E2C Network booster, exclusive communications, and bonus content that is available nowhere else. If you love this network and want to help us keep producing podcasts like this one, please head on over to patreon.com/E2C Network to join the E2C Network Booster Club. You can also get there by going to our website, e2cnetwork.com/support. Whether you decide to join or not, we are still so appreciative that you would support us by just listening and being here because each and every one of you is part of our E2C Network family. Well, that's it. Timeout's over. Let's get back into the episode.
Okay, let's get into all the results. So for the men's 60-meter dash, this is from obviously the Tiger Paw Invitational. All of the events will be except for Presley and Joyce. We had Dante Brown. He competed in the 60-meter, placing 18th out of 45 competitors in 6.8 seconds. For the men's 200-meter, we had Brandon Smiley placing 24th out of 73 competitors in 2.25 seconds. Almost his fastest.
I was about to say, just a little longer. Almost did it. So we almost had another PR for you, at least on the year.
Well, for the year, yeah.
For the year, at least. We don't know what his total career stuff is. Men's 800, Cooper Atkins. If it wasn't good enough for him in the mile, he also competed here, 16th out of 29, with a time of 1 minute, 53.14 seconds. And obviously, we talked about his 1 mile gold run, which was awesome. Out of 21 competitors, that time was 4 minutes, 7.33 seconds, which was 3 seconds. A little under 3 seconds faster than his previous mark.
So for the men's 3,000 meter, we had a lot of guys that we were used to seeing during cross country. So really excited to see them again. We had Ryan Kinane placing 2nd out of 20 competitors with a time of 8 minutes, 10.23 seconds. Then Carson Beddix and Tommy McDonough placing 4th and 5th respectively with times of 8 minutes, 19.33 seconds. And Tommy in 8 minutes, 19.40 seconds.
Right, we're with each other.
Literally together, which is awesome. So really excited for all 3 of those guys.
3 Auburn Tigers in the top 5.
I know.
That event.
That's
awesome.
Just absolutely incredible. And then we had for the men's 60-meter hurdles, we actually had 4 competitors, which is great. We don't normally have that many competitors, so I'm excited. We had Trey Reynolds placing 27th out of 40 with a time of 8.23 seconds. John Murray placing 30th in 8.3 seconds. Alex Spiridonidis placing 33rd in 8.4 seconds, his fastest of this season. Yep. And David Edmondson placing 39th in 8.77 seconds.
I'm so proud of us learning how to pronounce these names. Spiridonidis.
You know what?
Of course, we're probably still
I'm probably wrong, but I just say it quickly.
Just say it confidently. And Kyle, don't point it out next time. Just let it go.
There you go.
All right, on to the jumping events. We got the high jump. Dontavious Hill, obviously the superstar, winning the gold out of 20 competitors with that jump of 2.21 meters, his best of the season and the PR as well. Zach Marinko, 9th out of 20 with a jump of 2.03 meters, which was also his best on the year. followed up by TJ Funchess, 13th out of 20 with a jump of 2.03 meters, just a little bit under his best, but right there where he needs to be. We also got the pole vault, which is a jump.
It's a vault.
It's a jump and a vault. You have to jump into it. So anyway, Matthew Asplin, 2nd out of 11 for the silver medal, 4.97 meter jump for him, his best of the season.
Yep. So for men's long jump, we had John Murray placing 30th out of 35 competitors with a jump of 6.76 meters. This is our first time to see him compete in indoor in long jump. Then David Edmondson placing 31st in 6.49 meters. And for shot put, we had 3 competitors. Quentin Wynn placing 15th out of 29 competitors with his best throw of the season, 17.37 meters. Then Ethan Richter placing 21st in 15.89 meters. And John Murray, his first time competing in this event this season, placing 23rd in 14.18 meters.
John getting a little extra time at this meet.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the weight throw. We've got, obviously, we talked about Kyle Brown with his first place finish in the main event there, and out of 9 competitors with that 21.59 meter throw. We also had Eric Ebel, 9th out of 9 with a throw of 19.57 meters. We also had Kyle Moisen competing in this event, 4th out of the 16 competitors in his, would you call it a heat or group?
His open. So it's just like the other meet where there's an invite and an open.
Right.
So the invite is usually a little bit more selective.
Yeah.
No, the invite is selective.
Oh.
Open is open.
I had it backwards there, excuse me. But his throw was 19.00 meters, so that was a good performance for him, 4th out of those 16 there. We have the women's events now. We'll start off with the 200. Tyler Colbert, 52 was her place out of 77.
That is an insane number of athletes.
24.72 seconds was her run, her best of the season so far.
So then we had the women's 400. We had Asia Jinks placing 27th out of 71 athletes in 55.65 seconds. Then we had Brittany Campbell placing 71st in 60.86 seconds, her best of the season. Presley Weems in the women's 800 placing 7th out of 184 competitors. And like I said, first overall for collegiate. And 2 minutes, 4.05 seconds. And then for the women's 800 meter at the Tiger Paw invite, we had Jennifer Dietrich placing 29th out of 36 competitors in 2 minutes, 17.01 seconds.
And we've got the women's 1 mile at the Tiger Paw. 3rd out of 21 for Hallie Porterfield. She gets the bronze medal with a time of 4 minutes, 55.15 seconds, followed up by Samantha Rogers, 14th out of 21 with a run time of 5 minutes, 12.06 seconds. Joyce Camelli, I mean, we've talked about her, I think, enough over the years. Just first place, just dominating in that run in Boston. 15 minutes, 43.8 seconds. And it was 8th overall when you count the professionals in there. Just first collegiately, but obviously 8th overall. Still an incredible accomplishment for her. Shows you kind of where she stacks up in terms of if she wants to turn professional and kind of do those things. She's probably right where she needs to be.
Absolutely. Moving on to the field events. So the women's 60-meter hurdles, we had Elise Heddens placing 41st out of 46 athletes with her best time of the season of 9.12 seconds. Then Kiera McCarroll placing 42nd in 9.23 seconds. For the women's high jump, we had Kamaya Dendy placing 14th out of 31 athletes in 1.72 meters. Allison Tanner placing 23rd with a jump of 1.62 meters. And Grayson Scott placing 31st in 1.57 meters.
Now let's talk about the pole vault again, which is a jump. Lexi Lyon-Wibber finished 3rd out of 15 with a jump of 3.84 meters, which is her best of the season, also getting her that bronze medal. We got Rihanna Held with the 7th place finish out of the 15, 3.74 meters, kind of right in the middle of where she's been doing this season.
Yeah, absolutely.
The long jump, we got 3 competitors to talk about out of 39 that competed. Imani Jones, 26th out of 39 with a 5.7 meter jump. Janaya Jones, 29th out of 39, 5.66 meter. And then Elise Heddens, 37th out of 39, 5.26 meters, which was her best of the season here. Even though she was a little bit further back in the competition, still seeing her improve is a great thing. We got the triple jump, the thing that just confounds and confuses just to see them do that. Janaya Jones, 21st out of 26, 11.88 meter jump for her.
So moving on to the throwing events, women's shot put, we had Mara Hewalt placing 8th out of 26 athletes with a throw of 15.54 meters. Then Kiara McCarroll placing 18th with her best throw of the season in 13.82 meters. For the weight throw, we've already talked about Maddie Malone placing 1st out of 9 competitors with a throw of 22.72 meters, which shockingly is her 2nd best of the season. It is an absolutely incredible throw. It is her 2nd best. Then Mara Hewalt placing 9th with a throw of 18.71 meters. We also had Danielle Gregory compete in the open women's weight throw, placing 7th out of 18 competitors in 17.82 meters.
Yeah, it was incredible just to see what these men and women accomplished, at 2 different locations. And, obviously we talked a lot about the golds and the highlights, but even outside of that, there were a lot of 1st and 2nd and 3rd finishes. There were a lot of PRs, best times of the seasons. This was a really productive week for Auburn.
I think Coach Spry has a lot to be really proud of this weekend.
And obviously we're not the professionals. He's better at analyzing this. But from us outside looking in, this is probably... To me, this feels like maybe the best of the season so far for indoor that we've talked about.
I don't know, Kyle. Last week when Maddie Malone got that,
that's true. There's a lot
of 23.32 meter throw. I don't know.
But it's just like when you see people like Maddie and Joyce, the ones we're used to kind of toe in the line, doing what they're doing, and then you've got people like Presley, just continue to build and grow, and then you got everybody else. You got Dontavious Hill doing great things.
Let me just say, I am really excited for the SEC championships. So Auburn's got a week off.
It's a shocker. They haven't had one all season.
I know. So they get a week to recover. And in February 25th and 26th, they go to College Station, Texas for those SEC championships. And I am so excited.
Be careful. They do little rituals there with their little cheers and their yell leaders and stuff. Be
careful. You know what? We have birds fly around our stadium. We can't say nothing.
What are you trying to say?
Birds are scary.
Don't. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Anyway, I apologize for her folks.
I am so excited to see what Auburn has coming. War Eagle.
War Eagle. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode on the E2C Network. On your way out, I want to remind you to stop by e2cnetwork.com. It's your one-stop shop for all our content across our podcast, YouTube channel, and much more. To stay up to date with us, make sure you're following social media accounts such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. While our content here may always be Auburn sports heavy, if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. War Eagle.